You are watching MMTV live from Marley Mancunian studios in Manchester. Don't forget to share this. Let's get everyone watching it. It's rock and roll television from Manchester. Still to come, we have got music from Escafeld. They're going to get on the stage and get ready in a minute. And the amazing Backhanders are on the way a little bit later on. Still to come, loads and loads of stuff to tell you about. Back in November last year, two notorious characters from Manchester decided to launch a TV station. One of them was called Karl Power, the other one was called Anton Pell. And there's a little bit of a treat for you now. We're going to invite the lads up to tell us all about MMTV and what is going on. Please welcome the two men behind MMTV, Fat Neck and Anton. Here they go. Look at that. How are you, boys? I'll tell you what, you sit up there. Let me get down here. Look at that. Take a pew, man. Just grab that mic there, Anton. Okay, so if you are watching at home, right, these two boys are the men who came up with the idea of this conception of MMTV back in November. Anton, right, you two lads, well known in Manchester for your work over the years. What made you come up with the idea of MMTV?
Do you know what? It was a band that were playing here. We manage them, don't we? In fact, like Backhanders. So they always rehearsing here. So I made a little thing to put my phone on so I could record them. I thought, right, we've got the infrastructure. We could turn this into something. So we didn't know F all about like, running a TV show, being director, so to speak, or whatever. So then we thought, right, we've got the format, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the building. Let's now we need the host, and that's when you came on.
Oh, cheap. I remember being at Bowlers in Manchester at one of the Manchester events, and I was there hosting that, and I remember you coming up. You'd had a few beers both. You went, Dave, we've had this top idea. Be at Marley Studios on whatever date it was, and we turned up, and this amazing thing was going on. So, Nick, if we could just talk to you for a minute. Since November, we've had some pretty amazing guests on. Let's talk about the world of music first. We've had Sean Ryder, Bez, Clint Boone, Tom Ingley. We've had some amazing people.
Do you know what? The way it was, we just started with bands like we did, and then automatically with knowing loads of boxers, I thought we'll have a boxer on it. And also someone speaking about mental health, or a motivational speaker. And I thought with the three of them combined in each show, we just had it, keeping it up like that.
We've had some amazing guests on, including one boxer who's now on Love Island. But for anyone watching this at home, you won't be watching that shit. You'll be watching this.
He'll be back.
He watches it. Hang on a minute. It's all coming out now, isn't it?
Tommy Fury. If we say something about Tommy, he'll go viral, won't he? So I'll tell you a little story about Tommy Fury.
We did have Tommy Fury on it, and he was
right, we always wanted. We aim high, don't you? You shoot for the moon, you end up amongst the stars. So that's what we do here. Yeah, don't ask, you don't get. So
and in fairness, it was only a few weeks before it got announced he was on Love Island.
We were aiming for Tyson, but he kept saying, nah. So we thought, right, we've got to go for his brothers and stuff like that. We get his brothers on, then they'll say, right, it's a cool show, we'll have to come on it. So
he didn't mention it when he was here, though, did he? He didn't mention the old Love Island thing when he was here.
No, he didn't, because he didn't know. So when we asked him, do you want to come on the show? His response was, is there going to be any funny there? That's horrible. But we said yes. And he came on the show, and all was here was sweaty rock and roll stars.
So from MMTV to Love Island, it just shows, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
So now, I hope that goes viral, because that's what we need, isn't it?
So,
hashtag Love Island and MMTV, everyone, and we'll do that.
Moving swiftly forward, obviously we've been doing it before we know it, we're going to have been doing it for a year now. It's been an amazing 8 months. We've had some really amazing live bands, sports people, inspirational speakers on. What are the plans for the future for MMTV?
Well, we've just got some really cool companies on board that are interested in sponsoring us. So that was always the aim. The aim, like, people ask me all the time, why do you have mixed rock and roll with sport? Why do you mix boxers with music? And I'm like, because it's exactly the same. It's just a different art form. You have a headliner, you have a promoter, you have a main support. We're all in the same game. We're all from the streets around here, do you know what I mean? But I love getting the boxers on because they're kids like us from around here. And they inspire people. They've walked out national stadiums. They walk out stadiums fighting for world titles. But they're from Beswick and Coats, do you know what I mean? That's why we like getting them on this show.
And not only that, wherever people are watching from in the world, Manchester, it is all about music and sport, isn't it?
Yeah, music and sport. Boxing's a hotbed. We don't get the credit in Manchester for boxing in Manchester. How many world champions have we got in Manchester? You can't count them. Look around. Look at all them. They're all world champions that come on the show. Do you know, we don't get the credit.
So moving forward, where does MMTV go? What are the plans?
Just bigger, better sponsors. If you're there, sponsor us.
I just want to butt in there. If anyone is watching, by the way, and you love what we do, it's rock and roll television from Manchester. And if you do want to get involved and sponsor what we do, all you need to do is get in touch via social media to either Karl or Anton and get sponsoring this amazing station, because we have had some proper top guests on.
Can I just say we've got a guy from Manchester Council in tonight, and the backhanders are playing in Deansgate for the Armed Forces on this Saturday. Am I right? Thank you very much for having them.
We have got the backhanders coming up a little bit later on.
For all the armed forces that are also a big...
Can I just say we also have a licence?
There's a bar just through there as well.
And we need another mic, anyone?
Charity event.
Do you know what? I'm going to put you both on the spot now, and you're going to kill me for asking this. Since November, we've been doing this MMTV. If I had to ask you, who's been your favourite guest to both of you?
Mine, to be honest, I liked Anthony Crawler. Thought he was cool. He just spoke it like it was. He was ace. Sean Ryder, obviously. Bez. But yeah, we just had so many. Debbie Ellis, I really liked her. I liked her story about how Oasis came together.
Cy Wollstonecraft, I mean, one of the most
as well.
unsung musical heroes from Manchester.
But we've had, like, when we did the count-up and we were doing the stats, since November, we've relentlessly done it every 2 weeks. We've played... we've had over 70 unique different bands from Manchester play since November on this show. So that shows the strength of it. That's why we do it.
Exactly.
To give them that exposure. And the boxers. We all need to sell tickets, and that's what it's all about.
And not only that, on MMTV, we get these worldwide stars on, you know, like you say, Anthony Crawler, Sean Ryder. And they love this because it's proper, innit? It's real television.
Yeah.
Rock and roll telly at its finest.
I want to show you, tell you about a band from Sheffield. See these guys setting up now, but they're taking ages. But,
yeah, come on, lads, get a move on.
But these guys are proper rock and roll stars. They did one gig when they were in an old band. They did one gig, they sold out the Lead Mill, and then like 2 rock and roll stars fucked it right up. Fell out with the drummer and everything. But I love that. They're cool. Gonna be a proper cool band. And Jordan, he's lead singer and a good pal of mine. Can we have a chat with Jordan?
Of course we can. Jordan, come over here. Listen, before I tell you what, let's get Jordan up here. Can we have a big round of applause for the 2 men who invented MMTV? Karl Power, a.k.a. Fatneck, and Anton Pell. How's it going, Jordan? You all right, mate?
Dave.
Now, it's the first time I've met you. You boys have come over from Sheffield to be on MMTV tonight.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the band's history.
We've formed from ashes of 3 different bands, basically. So Anton mentioned them. We are in a band before, sold out Lead Mill. Them 2 lads, bass player and guitarist for another band. Brandon's joined us. He's Babby, he's only 18. And then Joe's joining from another band as well, Corrado Ross.
I'll tell you what, though, selling out the Lead Mill, that's some pretty prestigious gig, that, isn't it?
I don't know how we did it, but...
lot of mates. No, it's the first time I've seen you. I'm really looking forward to seeing you play. What's the plans for the future for the band? For the people watching at home or in the studio, what are the future plans for the band?
Get out of Sheffield, to be honest. We've got a gig in Manchester on Saturday at Eagle Bar. And then we're headlining O2 Academy in Sheffield in November. That's it then. Get out.
Brilliant. And if people are watching at home and they proper dig what you're going to do in a minute, I take it you're on social media and all that.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and all that. Hit us up.
Well, listen, I think the lads are around about ready, so if we can have some live music off you. Cheers, Jordan. Top man, top band. MMTV, this is live rock and roll television. You are watching it. We're live in Manchester. On a sunny Thursday night, we've got loads and loads to come up over the next half an hour. But now it is time for some live music all the way from Sheffield. It is a great pleasure to welcome to MMTV, Eskefeld.
You spend half your time trying your eyes on a better pursuit. Swallowing your lies, you got nowhere to go to. You got no one to run to. You're ready to mess, you assume your past. Never done from the length of your history of dress. Nobody wants you, and nobody needs you. She's had one too many times. One too many. For you tonight, she's had one too many times. One too many. For you tonight. Ooh, she's waiting. So is your grave. He's trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. Ooh, she's waiting. So is your grave. He's trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. She will betray some life, but she won't deny. Naked as me, lady of the night. She's got no one to lean on, and a hope to hold on. Already's a mess, and she goes through the test. Nothing left to reveal but a whole little trap. Nobody wants you, and nobody needs you. She's had one too many times. One too many. For you tonight, she's had one too many times. One too many. For you tonight. Ooh, she's waiting. So is your grave. You're trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. Ooh, she's waiting. So is your grave. He's trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. Walk, London. She's waiting, so is your girl. You're trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. Ooh, she's waiting, so is your girl. You're trying to tell me that you want me. Oh, please behave. Bye.
Nice one. This next thing, we're recording it next month. It's very Manchester. That's why we're playing it tonight. It's called Good to Be Me.
When it's hardest to let it be, we believe we be free. It doesn't mean that much to me, baby, stay through the day. I never want you to leave, won't you lay as we breathe. Spend the day doing as we breathe. We don't need anyone, we don't need anyone. Well, it's good to be me. Well, it's good to be me. Fly away in the sun, 'cause I know it's what you want, and I'll try to grab you close. Because tomorrow never knows. We don't need anyone, we don't need anyone. Well, it's it's good to be me. Well, it's good to be me. Well, you know that it's real how you feel about me. Said you know that it's real how you feel about me. Said you know that it's real how you feel about me. Well, you know that it's real how you feel about me. We don't need anyone. We don't need anyone. Well, it's good to be me. Well, it's good to be me. Yeah.
Nice one, Manchester.
MMTV live from Marley Mancunian Studios. They've travelled all the way from Sheffield to be with us tonight. Studio audience, will you make some noise for the brilliant Eskefeld? Nice one, cheers lads, thank you. Okay, you are watching MMTV live from Marley Mancunian Studios in Manchester. Don't forget to share this, spread the word, let's get everyone watching. It is all about proper Manchester television. One thing, since day one, we've featured a lot on this show is the world of boxing. And as Anton mentioned earlier on, Manchester really does. It's a pretty big hotbed for boxing. And we like to feature it and hear about people's stories, people who are doing really, really well from the area. Our boxing guest tonight is a man who, since becoming pro, he's won 12, drawn 1 and lost none. It is a great, great pleasure to welcome from Wythenshawe our boxer for tonight, Macaulay McGowan. How's it going, mate? All right. Good, good. You switched on. Yeah, let's have a look. There you go. That's my fault. Sorry, Mr. Soundman. Listen, cheers for taking the time out to join us on MMTV. Proper appreciate you coming down. So growing up in Wythenshawe, where did boxing come into it?
Well, it's pretty rough on there, so you just get involved, like, doing shit and whatever. And then the boxing gym was just round the corner. We had Tyson Fury was there. And he was doing well. He was only 14. We had this big lad was there. So my dad said, "Oh, I'll take you down," because my dad used to do a bit of boxing. So I went down, and then I just loved it from then on. But
how old were you at that point?
I was 8. I always thought I was 9, but looking back, I was actually 8.
What were you like growing up as a kid? What were you like?
I was always pretty intelligent, but I was a little shit with it, like, because school, some of the things were easy, so I just like think, oh, fuck that, like, not really arsed. But you know, there was a stage when I was 10 years old. I ended up wagging school. I didn't wag school. I was playing pitch and toss and I lost. And the dinner lady said something to me about playing it, so I called her a fat bitch and I ran off. And then that night,
did she catch you?
No, I went and hid near a brook. I just like waited there all day, and then I knew if I waited long enough, my mum would go past that feeling of angriness and become worried. So she'd become worried, so I thought, right, I'll head back now, because I was only round the corner. And then she said, right, you're not playing out. Blah, blah, blah. So then later on that night, my mate knocked on for me. And she said, right, you can go out, but just stay on the front. We ended up smashing the car up that night. And then a few days later, loads of us doing it. And then a few days later, the police come and arrested us. And I got questioned, and, you know, they said, oh, you're going to get an ASBO if you carry on hanging around with such and such people and all that. And then the gym found out, because the Jimmy Egan's, they were just dead involved in, like, all the lads' lives. And then they said, look, what's going on there? And then from that moment, I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to dedicate myself to boxing. And I just kind of stayed in the gym from then on.
As a kid, getting into what you were getting into and what you were like, what you've just told us about, you obviously got into boxing from 8 or 9. Yeah. Were you doing much like fighting and scrapping on the streets? Or were you not really a fighter? Even though you were, as you called it, a little shit. Yeah. Were you not really a fighter? Or?
I wouldn't say I was a fighter and I went looking for trouble, but I'd be around trouble. So I couldn't, if I knew someone was kicking off, someone would switch inside, and I thought, right, I'm just going to have it here now. And I remember once the principal pulled me in and he said, Macaulay, this is your 5th fight today. I thought, well, fucking send me home then. Like, and then So I did have a bit of a temper, but I weren't good at how, like, I was crap at, like, all my mates were better runners, like, you know, in sprinting in school and all that, just better at everything, but boxing was, I knew it, you could strategically beat someone regardless of physical attributes, because I was pretty chubby, so I just thought, I'm going to stick with this.
So you got into boxing, like you say, your dad took you to the gym and all that kind of stuff. When was your first fight? When do you remember having your first fight? I don't mean on the street, I mean actually in the ring.
It was 2 weeks after my 11th birthday. You have to be 11 to legally box in the UK, so yeah, straight away, 2 weeks in.
What do you remember about that fight?
Oh, I got hammered. I got absolutely hammered. It was an Asian lad, and I remember, as bad as it sounds, Asian lads were feared at the time, because it was 2004, so Amir Khan had got the silver medal, so it was just an influx of, like, the Asian boxing community, and I remember I was boxing, he was from Bury, Amir Khan's gym, and he just levied us. I remember I think it was Steve Foster Senior, looking back. He gave me my trophy and he just went, stick at it, lad. And I thought, he knows I got hammered then. But I just thought, fuck it, I'll just stick at it.
Going into that ring for the first time at the age of 11,
yeah.
Did you go in pretty much shitting it, or did you go in with I can do this?
No, the first time going into the ring, I weren't shitting it because I didn't know what to expect. It was in Lee, and some dance tune come on. I didn't listen to that sort of music. I just thought, fucking hell, this is all right, this. So I come bowling out thinking this is going to be a breeze, this. I'm minting the gym, you know, a little cocky bastard. And then after the first round, I was just hanging on for dear life pretty much.
You obviously kept in, we go into the gym, go into the boxing, and as a kid, into your early teens, you obviously continued having fights. At what point in your life was it you thought, right, I want to do this, I want to make a career of it, I want to, you know, take this more seriously? When did you think, that's for me?
I tell myself that it was pretty much straight away, but it weren't, because I remember, like, being at home once, like, I think I was about 12, and I'm thinking, I like boxing, but I don't think I'll do it forever. And then, it is easy, like, I'm not going to say I was a bad kid and it was rough and this and all that rubbish about women's show, but it is easy to get involved in the wrong crowd. So, like, when you see, like, lads who are doing whatever, it's so easy for them to become your role models. You're seeing the lads doing, you know, illegal activity and stuff, and they're driving the better cars and stuff, so you don't respect a teacher who's driving a fucking little crappy car. Obviously I do now, but I mean, like, looking back then, it was all about, like, material things.
When you got into boxing, and obviously there's a lot of people look up to you now, when was it you thought to yourself, right, well, I need to sort myself out, I need to stop smashing cars up, and I need to, you know, take this seriously? What point in your life was that?
Well, like I say about role models and all that, Tyson Fury was in the gym, and I was about 12, I think he's a few years older. He seemed like a man, but he was only a kid himself. He was doing really, really well, winning everything, but getting a name for himself. I remember Jimmy Kelly, he won the schoolboy title, and I knew I was going into the schoolboys like a year later, and I thought, and he won it, and he got this big glove, and he got his England vest and that, and I thought, right, no, that's what I want to do.
Would you say boxing changed your life at that part of you?
I'm not going to say, oh, I was a bad kid going down the wrong road, and I was this, that, and the other, but I do think when there was times in my life, because I was a smart kid, like, well, I think about it, I knew right from wrong anyway. I'm not saying I was this brain boss, I'm just saying I knew